All right, my friends, today we are talking about hate comments because that is something that you're going to encounter and we need to prepare you for it. So, why do people leave hate comments? Well, they're projecting insecurities, they're jealous, they're envious, and sometimes they're just downright mean. They're just mean people. And what they lack is power. You have to realize that they don't have the power here. You have the power. Why? Because I'm going to teach you the power that they don't have. I'm going to teach you how to breathe in and let it go. A lot of these haters, they're very, very sensitive. They're very, very miserable. As soon as you say something that triggers them or says something that they don't like, or they see your success and they're not successful, they get envious and jealous and they don't feel good. So they have to lash out, right? They don't have control. They don't have any power. They're at the whim of their emotions and their own misery and their jealousy. I'm going to give you the power today so that they become irrelevant. We're going to make the haters irrelevant. Number one, you'll also get nice comments, right? And so it's a balancing thing, right? Why do you choose? You have to understand, it's a choice which comments you think are valid, right? And so if there's only 3%, if you get 3 hate comments and 99 good ones, why in the world would you choose to decide? It's a choice on your part. Why would you decide that the 3% is valid? Just decide that the other comments are valid and those ones are not valid. Now, there's a difference between hatred and mean comments and actual valid criticism, and you have to be able to discern that. And that requires the ability to divorce yourself from the emotions and just look at it objectively. And so this is what I'm teaching you here today. So you have to reframe it. First off, if you have people hating on you, being negative in your comments, it means you're making an impact. It means you're actually doing something. You're stepping out into the world and you're moving. You're moving things and other people are seeing you and they have to react to it. You're creating a reaction. You are not irrelevant. That's the first thing. That's a good thing. All right? You're actually out here doing something. And so the fact that you are getting hate comments means that you're not irrelevant. You're not fading away into obscurity. You're not doing nothing with your life. You're doing something because people are having a reaction to you. And that's a good thing. You could celebrate that, right? And so I would say step 2, you need to differentiate between constructive criticism and pure hate. And this is where you have to develop the emotional strength that they don't have, right? They can't take constructive criticism. Of course, this is assuming that you're being nice on YouTube and that you're being thoughtful and not being hurtful with your speech and your language because, sometimes you get what you put out, right? And so, constructive criticism can help you improve, but toxic hate obviously should be ignored. Someone saying, but your mic volume is too low, that's not toxic. That's just constructive feedback. And you can say, oh, thank you. Now I will go and fix it, right? And so you need to make sure number one, you need to block all of it from actually being a judgment on you. Constructive criticism is not a judgment on you. It's just an assessment of your video performance. And that's all that it is. So you need to create that emotional separation. You go, here's an assessment on my performance. Let me go and investigate and I will see if I can improve my performance. Whereas if a toxic comment comes your way, you say, here's a very negative critique. I'm going to ignore it because it's irrelevant. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, right? So you need to find a way to create this emotional barrier, this emotional distance between you and these comments that are coming your way, both good and bad, right? And that's what we're talking about. You have to understand these comments are not real life. These are people sitting alone, miserable, sad, depressed in their bedroom, and it's their only outlet, right? They're in a lot of pain, right? And also, they're going to forget about it in 10 seconds because it's just habit for them, right? They're living a life that is not what they wanted. they're unhappy, they're disappointed, and then every chance they get, it's just like, blah, 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 blah. And then they forget about it because it's a habit to them. It's a habit for them to just be a miserable person, right? And so you need to understand that they're going to forget about it in 10 seconds. You shouldn't absolutely forget about it in 10 seconds also. You shouldn't let it ruin your whole day. It's your choice to give them that power. If a hate comment ruins your whole day, it's because you decided that it should. You decided to give them that power. That's your choice, right? And we need to realize that. We need to realize that we decide if it's relevant or not. And so successful creators, train them to filter it as noise. You know, comments are just like customer feedback. That's all it is. You need to just make sure that you're filtering it out and understanding that it's a choice if you want to make it relevant or not. All right. Number one, let's do a couple of things as what you can actually do. Okay. Option one is ignore and move on. Like, not responding just kills the power, right? Like, they want a response. A lot of them will give up if they don't get attention. Because remember, attention is a form of dopamine. It's a form of affirmation. If they're struggling in life and they're miserable, well, it makes them feel good to have other people look at them, right? It's a form of affirmation. It's a form of self-esteem. And unfortunately, these individuals have tied their self-esteem to how much attention they get, whether it's good or bad, right? And because they're miserable and they're sad and they're not going in a good way in life, they're lashing out with negativity to try to get attention. And so you can kill the power just by not replying. Only reply to good comments. That's it. They if they don't get what they want, they'll just move on, right? Second thing you could do is use humor to deflect. If you feel like you want to respond, respond in a way that, makes it feel like you don't take them seriously. So, for example, if someone says, "You suck," you can be like, "Thank you for the review. See you in my next video." Or, "Good to hear. Make sure to like and subscribe," right? It will absolutely... Now, beware. They might reply back. They might try to get to you. So this is a game that you may or may not want to play, right? It depends on who can outlast each other, right? And so if you're just being all positive and nice, you better make sure that you outlast them, because if they break you, that's not going to be good for you, right? A lot of times they expect anger. That's what they're used to. But if you respond with some fun, happy, this, like, what is this, right? A lot of times you can deflect, and they might not even comment again, right? And of course, YouTube does have the ability for you to delete and block repeat offenders. You don't owe these people a platform. If someone shows up on multiple videos harassing you and being toxic, you don't have to allow that. YouTube has a block. It has the ability to block and hide that person, right? And so all you got to do is ask ChatGPT how to do it. Go in, find the negative comment, and then just block that individual, and you'll never have to worry about it again. That's a great option. You don't owe these people a platform. So absolutely, you can block them. If you find it really egregious and gross and you're offended, you don't have to respond. You can block them so that they never do it again. Take a deep breath and move on and make them irrelevant. They're blocked. They can't comment on your channel anymore, and thus they are irrelevant, and thus you're done. Period. Move on. Right? And of course, you can use comment filters. If you notice that certain trolls use certain words, you can block certain words like loser, cringe, or trash, or any sort of offensive language that you do not want in your comment section. You can block it. You can block all the swear words. You can block slurs. Anything like that. It just literally will not show up at all. And then you don't even have to deal with it, right? And so Say, for example, if you happen to have certain religious or political beliefs and you're trying to comment on them and share them with the world in a positive and constructive way, but you realize that, there's some very angry people that are hurling swear words and racial slurs at you for whatever reason, you could set up a filter. YouTube will remove those comments automatically and you don't even have to worry about it, right? And so that is another option. And of course, you should redirect your energy to your supporters, okay? Instead of focusing on the negative ones, focus on the positive ones, right? Like, you only have one life. Let's make it joyful. And that's a choice, right? Your life is what you focus on. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. And you experience what you focus on. So if you focus on negative comments, you're going to experience negative comments. If you focus on positive comments, you will experience positive comments. So for example, say you're at a coffee shop, right? And you're there for 2 hours. If you're scrolling through your videos and you're only reading the negative comments and you're commenting back and you're arguing and you're getting upset, well, guess what? That 2-hour experience is now a very negative experience for you because you chose to focus on the negative. But if you ignore the hate comments and focus on the positive comments. Say, oh, thank you so much. So wonderful having you here. That's a good point. Please consider subscribing. Thank you for the encouragement. Wonderful having you here. Well, suddenly those 2 hours are a very positive experience. Why? Because you chose to focus on the positive, right? This is a choice. You don't just experience life, you experience what you focus on. So focus on the positive. Because your real fans will support you. Haters don't. They just come and go. So focus on the people that support you and reward them, right? Give good things back to the people who give good things to you so that they keep coming back. This is great for YouTube engagement, right? So mental health strategies. Let's go over that. So you want to set some boundaries. You don't need YouTube to take over your life. I know a lot of you have mentioned that the YouTube Studio app is incredibly addictive because of the analytics, and it is. You may want to consider deleting it off of your phone and only look at analytics maybe 1 to 2 hours a week instead of having it always on your phone, right? You can have off time, like just disconnect from screens, read a book. You guys understand, I'm old enough to remember when the iPhone didn't exist. Right? I remember it coming out and being like, wow, a touchscreen phone? That's crazy. BlackBerry is dead. Like, I remember Blackberries. I remember the brick Nokia phones that my mom had, right? One of those actual bricks of a phone, right? I remember that. And so we just read books and went outside and played with the animals and talked. You don't need a screen to enjoy your life, right? And so by all means, consider designating off time. You do your work, you make your videos, you are partaking in social media without letting it control your life, right? And so you could set a certain block of time during the day where it's like, hey, this amount of time I will participate in technology and social media, and I will do so in a manner that is constructive. I will not just consume, I will create, and then I will give it. And then when I am done, I will turn my screens off and just focus on my day. I'll read a book. I'll clean my room. I'll go for a walk. I'll enjoy nature. I'll pray. I'll meditate. Whatever you want to do to enjoy your life. You don't have to have the screens on all the time. And you certainly don't have to read comments first thing in the morning, right? I tend to only read comments when I get notifications, which is when I'm on my desktop. And fortunately, thank you guys, almost all of you are giving very, very nice comments, and the bad comments, I just don't even think about it. It's irrelevant. But yeah, you can think of YouTube as just a game that you partake in. It's not your whole life. It's not consuming every part of your day. And as an extension of that, the comments don't take up a large space in your mind, so the negative comments don't take up a lot of space in your mind either. Managing burnout. You can work smarter, not harder. You can create in batches, prevent stress by filming multiple videos at once and scheduling them. Again, this is more tips on not you participate in YouTube, but you don't let it take over your life, right? You can use There's a lot of ways you can use to save energy that applies to things outside of comments. So for example, you could batch your thumbnails, your editing, and your recording and your writing. You can also batch your response to comments. Maybe it's a great idea for you to only schedule 1 hour a week for comments. And so what you can do is you can actually turn notifications off on YouTube, so you don't know when you get comments. And then for 1 hour a week, you go to a coffee shop and you only respond to the positive ones. And you can delete the negative ones or set up a filter so you don't see them at all. And that's fine, right? It's not going to overwhelm and take over a big part of your life. You create the distance. You're just like, hey, I control it. It doesn't control me. I will read comments and reply at this time on this day, and that's it. And then I'm going to get on with my life. I'm going to do other things, right? Couple warning signs of burnout. If you feel dread about making your videos, that might be a sign that you need some rest. Constantly comparing yourself, also a sign that you might need some rest. Feeling mentally drained even before starting, rest. Rest is the key. Take a short break, or even better, you can avoid burnout by building in breaks, right? And that's exactly what that applies to all of YouTube, but it definitely applies to comments as well. You know, if you know you're going to get some hate comments, just take a break for a couple of days. Don't respond to comments. And then on a certain day, go in and respond to all of them. And then it's not a big part of your life. And then that reduces the amount of time that you have to work to create the distance between yourself and the negativity. And thus, it reduces the likelihood that the negativity is going to get to you, right? And so that's something that you can do. Developing a strong why. Mission should be bigger than any hate comment. You should have a good reason for being on YouTube. Something that you love, something meaningful. Who do you want to help? Focus on who you're helping, not the haters, guys. Focus on your impact, not the negativity that other people give. Just focus on what you give and who you're actually helping, not the miserable people who have nothing to do with nothing to do in their lives and just have to give comments, right? Just focus on your why. Stay focused on the mission and focus on the impact, because that's what's in. It frustrates me to no end how many people have given up on their mission, their purpose, and their why simply because of hate comments online from people they don't know and will never meet and probably will never comment again. Think about that. They probably only comment once and then get on with their lives. And so you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person that gives up on a lifetime of purpose and meaning and impact and value and a legacy just because a couple of idiots said something that you didn't like. Be stronger than that. Be better than that. Get strong. Do what it takes. Teach yourself to create the distance between you and the negativity. It's your choice if it impacts you, period. Yes, I understand our emotions can run wild and it can trigger you and things like that, but you choose how you respond to those emotions, right? And so, yes, you may be justified in feeling angry, and it's okay to feel angry at negative comments, but it's your choice how you respond to that anger. And if you choose to give up your impact, your legacy, the things that and the help and the good things you can do to the world simply because you didn't want to process the anger that a negative comment gave to you, I'm not going to judge you, but why? Why? Is it really worth it? I doubt it. So make the choice to absorb the emotions, process it, deal with it, and then act according to your mission, not according to your feelings. And that's the game changer. Act according to your goals and your mission, not your feelings. And then you will be impervious to negative comments, because that they don't determine how you act. And then, of course, your self-worth will get better. You don't base your self-worth on what some idiot online says about you. They don't know you. They've never done anything for you, and you've never done anything for them. It's irrelevant. It's background noise, right? And so you absolutely should not give up your self-worth for these negative comments. They're invalid. Like, just decide that they're stupid and they're invalid. Like, all of these big YouTubers deal with it and they ignore it. That's the game, guys. Your mission matters, not the haters. And you need to decide in your mind that you will behave according to the mission and your goals and your dream, not according to what some idiot online makes you feel, not according to your feelings. And this is actually a skill that permeates throughout life that we're going to be using throughout the rest of this course. Acting according to your mission and your goals, not your feelings. One of the main cores of defeating procrastination and being productive is that you don't act the way you feel. If you feel tired, you work anyway. If you feel sad, you do the work anyways. If you feel good, you do the work anyways. This is one of the main things that's going to change your life and get you to a place where you can be creative and post consistently. You need to divorce your actions from feelings. You have to practice feeling bad sometimes. If a negative comment makes you feel bad, take a breath, sit there, say, this feels bad. I don't like it. And I'm okay. Nothing bad's happening to me. It's a feeling, and I'm not going to act according to this feeling. I'm going to stay true to myself. I know what my mission is. I know what my purpose is. I'm not going to let this idiot or my emotions deter me from my goals. You must develop resolute conviction that it's worth it. And, I think that's just the best advice that I can give. And, if you're still unsure about YouTube, if you're still unsure about whether it's right for you, here's what I would do. Develop resolute conviction that you are a lifelong learner and you are going to continue with the experiment until you have made a decision based on actual data and what you like, not what other people say, and not based on your emotions. And so you can do this even if you're a beginner, even if you're still unsure on what your YouTube channel is supposed to be, or who you're supposed to help, or where it's going to go. You can still do this. Be resolute in the fact that you are going to continue exploring and testing and having a life adventure regardless of what people do or say. Life is an adventure. Choose the adventure and just decide that the negative comments are not worth it and they're irrelevant, and you're going to behave according to your goals. The goal is to have an adventure and try out YouTube, then continue doing that regardless of what idiots online say until you make your choice based on what you actually like, not on what you might feel in the moment. And that's it. Your audience, and again, this is the way to best serve your audience too. They need a happy, creative you. They need you at your best. And so you can't let people who don't appreciate you tear you down so that you fail to show up for the people that do. You can't let your audience down. You can't let your family down. You can't let, the people that love you down. You have to show up for them. Being your best self, your most creative, loving, kind, innovative self. Don't you dare take that away from the people that love and appreciate you just because some idiot said something negative. Make a choice, right? You can't allow stupid people who don't care about you bring you down to a point where you failed to be the best version of you for the people who do love and appreciate you. That's not right. So make sure you have your priorities straight. And if you want more help with procrastination and a system on defeating you, if you want more help, click that video right over there. That's it. That was a pretty good ending, not gonna lie. One take. No edits. Dang, I'm on fire. That was pretty good. Not gonna lie. Anyways, good day.